This is Professor Asif Iqbal. So in this session we are going to discuss a new topic, that is output stages and power amplifiers. So here a power amplifier is simply an amplifier with high power output stage. So usually the power amplifier we used at the output of the systems where we require a high power to drive devices such as mechanical devices. We need to drive those require high power, so hence we always using a high power output stage, such as in a speaker circuit. To drive the speaker we require the high power amplifier at the output stage, which gives high power signal to the speaker to drive it. So here a discrete and integrated circuit power amplifiers will be presented. Since BJTs can handle a much larger current than MOSFETs, they are preferred in the design of output stage. Right, some CMOS output stages are also available, which is used for many applications. Right, so usually for many applications BJT we used, which drive the much current here, and the transistor BJT which used to design a power amplifier is called power BJT, power transistor. Right, so we see the classification of these output stages, or we can say the power amplifiers. Output stages are classified according to the collector current waveform, the result that results when an input signal is applied. It's based on how much the output we are getting, what is the portion of output we are getting. Based on that we are classifying different output stages here, power amplifiers here. So here the class A stage power amplifier, which is you can see in a figure A here, 11.1A figure. Right, in here we will get complete whole cycle of 360-degree output corresponding to its input, means almost all which you applied at the input. Suppose say you are applying a sinusoidal signal at the input of power amplifier. At the output of power amplifier here you will get a whole sinusoidal signal without disturbing and destroying its shape. All 360-degree signal we will get at its output with amplification. Right, so therefore we can say that so here power amplifier, the class A power amplifier gives you a 360-degree conduction of input signal. Okay, so the bias, so therefore the biasing here for the current IC, means the biasing circuit used in this power amplifier provides the current IC which is greater than greater than the signal IC, the signal current IC, right? You see here the capital IC which we are getting for the biasing is more than the signal peak of the signal ICs, means half of the signal IC, means peak current, the amplitude, or we can say the amplitude of signal IC, the peak value of IC, right? So therefore entire cycle we are getting here without destroying its shape. We know that the biasing we require here should not require here, because we don't want to destroy the shape of the input. So therefore if you apply the biasing which is more than the applied signal IC, right, then you will get entire 360 degree, whereas in the class B stage conducts only half cycle here, which means it gives a conduction angle of 180 degree only, either a positive half cycle it will give or a negative half cycle it will give. You see in the figure B here, it's showing that the output of the class A amplifier having current for only positive half cycle, so negative half cycle is here clipped off, right? So you can use here class B amplifier with only negative cycle, the positive cycle is to be clipped off. So therefore we can say in summary we can say that class B amplifier giving only 180 degree of output signal, right? Only it will provide you conduction of 180 degree. Whereas one more we have, which is a combination of class A and class B, we called it as class AB output stage amplifier, which provide you the signal between the conduction angle here is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree, or we can say that it will give you the waveform which is greater than 180 degree and less than 360 degree, or we can say in between 180 degree to 360 degree output signal it will provide you, right? So here you can see in the class B amplifier here biasing is 0, there is no biasing, right? So here biasing is IC, here biasing is 0, whereas in a class AB the biasing is little above the 0 or little below the 0, or we can say the IC which is capital IC, biasing IC, collector current is less than the signal IC, right? So finally we have one more type here which is rarely used, that is class C amplifier. So class C amplifier gives you the output signal which is less than 180 degree, less than 180 degree. So here it will conduct only for less than 180 degree of input signal. So IC will be having less than 180 degree. You can see in the figure D here. So here usually this type of class C amplifier using a LC circuit at its output to provide a full conduction of cycle. Since the LC circuit requires input as a pulsating waveform, so here class C, you see it generates the pulsating waveform, pulses it is giving. When you give this pulses to the LC circuit, LC tank circuit, it will give you full oscillation, full cycle of oscillation. Similarly, to get a full cycle in class B amplifier, we use one more class B amplifier which conducts for negative half cycle. So one class B amplifier which conducts for positive half cycle, another class B amplifier which conducts negative half cycle. So therefore here we require two class B amplifier to conduct whole cycle to get a proper shape. Whereas to get a proper shape or to conduct full cycle in a class AB amplifier, we using one more amplifier which is having biasing little greater than the applied signal IC, or which is less than 0 in a negative, to get a negative half cycle here, right? So therefore this is our classification of amplifiers, right? We'll continue the session with a next topic to be discussed, a class A output stage. So here you can see, because of its low output resistance and the emitter follower is the most popular class A output stage. So usually we are using a emitter follower to design a class A amplifier, right? So here we can see the one an emitter follower with a biasing circuit which gives you a class A amplifier. Here transistor Q1 forms a emitter follower. At the base of Q1 we are applying our input which is to be amplified, and transistor Q2 provides a biasing here, so which will give you the biasing IC, which is always must be a greater than the peak signal of applied peak output signal, right, which provide you the current IC here across the RL, means current which is greater than the half of the full cycle, So here you see transistor Q2 provide a biasing current I, right, and the transistor Q1 provide the current IE1, right? So here the load current and biasing current, if you sum together, you will get the current which is flowing at the emitter of transistor Q1. So we can say that the total current IE1 is equal to I plus IL, and you can see clearly this circuit, the output voltage V0 here is Vi minus VBE. You see this loop from here to ground. If you go through this loop and apply the KVL here, then we can write Vi minus VBE, right, minus V0, Vi minus VBE minus V0, which will give you V0 is equal to Vi minus VBE1, right, VBE1, which is the VBE of transistor Q1, right? We can also observe here the output which we are getting here, that maximum output is the VCC minus VCE sat, right, means the maximum output, the drop of voltage across a Q1 between collector and emitter plus VCC is the maximum output voltage you will get. You can see this loop here, from here to here. If you see the loop, right, at this point of V0, we can write V0 plus VCE minus VCC. So if you apply the KVL, right, which is clearly you can get it here, V0 plus VCC minus V0 plus VCE, which is the collector emitter current voltage of Q1 minus VCC, or we can say, right, if you take from this side VCC minus VCE minus V0, VCC minus VCE minus V0 will give you V0 is equal to VCC minus VCE, right? The maximum voltage you can get when VCE is saturated, when you get the maximum voltage between collector emitter here, right? Okay, so minimum or output voltage you can get minus I into RL, right? When this transistor is not operated, the current flow through this RL is only I. When it is not operated, right, which is the minimum voltage you will get at the output. So therefore, when it is not operated, IE is 1 is 0. When IE 1 is 0, IL is equal to I, right? IL is equal to minus I here, right? So the current flow across the RL is only I, which is in the reverse direction it will flow. So therefore, the minimum voltage you will get at the output is minus I into RL, right? Which can clearly show here. You can see in the transfer characteristics, right, which showing that VI versus V0 when, right, so maximum voltage, output voltage you will get is VCC minus VCE sat. After that the output voltage is get saturated even you increase the input VI, right? So output is get saturated. Minimum you will get is minus I into RL in the circuit, right? So if you further increase this biasing current I, you can increase this minimum range to below. You can take this minimum range below the minus I RL if you change the value of I by changing the value biasing, by changing this biasing current I, right? If you increase the biasing current I below the means if you increase the biasing current I, which takes your minimum output below the minus I into RL, and it is up to the when this transistor is get saturated, means when I is getting maximum, right? When I is getting maximum, or we can say the VCE is get saturated. When VCE of transistor to get saturated is the maximum current, maximum voltage between collector and emitter of Q2, right? Or which can reduce the current I to its minimum value, means since it is reverse current, it is in negative minimum value, which takes the output voltage minimum to a minus VCC plus VSAT, right? You clearly saw that, seen that the output voltage here, if it is not working, right, which is, you can see here is, this is plus minus plus will give you minus VCC plus VSAT. So you see this loop, right? See this loop for minimum output voltage, right? Okay, so therefore the V0 is equal to minus VCC plus VSAT minimum if you increase the value of I further, right? So therefore, if you see this condition, so the maximum current you can get I should be greater than equal to minus VCC plus VSAT divided by RL. So here you can see I into RL should be greater than or equal to, this should be greater than this, or it is equal to this, right? So if you take that condition, take RL this side, we can say that the maximum current, right, should be current should be greater than or equal to minus VCC plus VCE to SAT divided by RL. Okay, so these are the problems I will solve and give you this problem later. Okay, so we'll continue our next session with the next topic. Till then, take care. Bye.